Like so many Americans, I saw those images of Katrina and felt the helplessness. People who were literally on their rooftops left to die.
The only thing that government should have been responsible for was saying, how do we help those who can't help themselves? But that's not the kind of government we have, because that's not the value system of this nation.
I remember very concretely the moment that Kanye West went on the benefit concert.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
I remember that moment really resonating with me.
There was no sense of urgency that the government had.
I saw black folks being left behind, preyed upon by police, maligned by the media. It was personally painful.
Structural racism is alive and well in all major aspects of society and everyday life.
The daily consequences for this hostile environment for Black people are real, whether it's when you're going to apply for a job or trying to get an apartment or get a loan.
We currently live in a climate where a lot of the information that we see and read and a lot of our cultural norms are set by very few gatekeepers.
When you read news articles, people don't have to say the word black per se, right? But the language that they use and the connotations and what they infer lead to that.
That produces a very different sort of psychology, and it needs a different kind of political engagement.
I recognized that technology could make things possible, enabled a voice that actually could create consequences for elected officials or media figures that weren't doing right by Black Americans and others.
Color of change, engaging people, is at the heart of how you make the rules different to benefit everyone.
Color of Change has helped to build a culture of participation that we've seen over the last 10 years. But we can't mistake cultural presence for cultural power. What we have to do every single day is translate the presence that people have in the world on our issues into the type of cultural power that makes real change.
Whether it's a campaign against ALEC to get corporations to withdraw their money and membership, whether it's campaigns to keep net neutrality, whether it's campaigns around Trayvon Martin or Michael Brown or police accountability, Color of Change is at the forefront of getting new voices into the process, engaging campaigns that actually win.
In the process of winning, it really is about thinking through strategy. It's about how do we leverage power? It's how are we telling the story the right way?
ALEC helped craft Arizona's draconian anti-immigration law. It orchestrated the introduction of voter ID laws across the country that made it harder to vote. It even worked with the NRA to bring Florida's controversial Stand Your Ground law to more than a dozen other states.
You cannot come for Black folks' money by day and then try to take away our vote or support laws that take away our lives by night.
Hours after a civil rights group, Color of Change, launched an online petition, Coke announced it was leaving ALEC.
We led a campaign mobilizing hundreds of thousands of our members, and over 100 corporations have now left ALEC, leaving ALEC with a $1.5 million budget shortfall, making our members on that issue incredibly powerful.
This president, I think, has exposed himself as a racist.
They sit around and they call my sponsors or they email them. Yeah, they threaten them, harass them, intimidate them. See, they want to put me in my place.
We mobilized our members to push back against sponsors of The Glenn Beck Show, ending the run of Glenn Beck because of the racist things he was saying on the air.
Color of Change is also really great whisperers to people who are making decisions that lots of people are seeing, specifically with pop culture creators, media creators, to make sure that the Black perspective is represented.
This will be one of those issues like voting rights that really determines how we are heard and counted in our democracy.
I'm very grateful for all the work they gave us protecting the free and open internet, protecting the tools that can be used for organizing.
This was a big deal because there were other mainstream civil rights organizations that were very wrong on this issue. In my humble opinion, they had been captured by big companies. Color of Change wasn't captured by anybody. They're so fiercely independent.
Color of Change was somebody willing to speak out when really nobody else was, showing up to lobby, showing up to meet with members of Congress, not being afraid to throw a few punches when they had to, and we saw tremendous results.
Being involved in Color of Change, and actually recently just started my own petition. My family has lived in Charleston for now 4 generations, and a coalition of organizations have been fighting for 15 years to take down the Confederate flag. We were able to put this petition together. Color of Change has been instrumental, having resources and having tools and strategies online and being able to reach thousands of people who I never would have been able to reach using old tactics. Removing that symbol of hate and racism is absolutely important.
At Color of Change, we like to win. We believe that that is part of what we exist here to do, is to run and build campaigns that win.
We have just over 1.2 million members nationwide, and what Color of Change staff really does is spend their time thinking about how can we pair an action with news stories? How can we take that moment of sadness or that moment of outrage and channel it into something that's productive, that will actually change the system or change the way that Black people live their lives on a daily basis?
The difference between presence and power for African Americans today is going to involve sustained collaboration with other groups of people in ways that are more important now than any other time.
Really, it's about making democracy work, making the functioning of our society work for all people.
As we're fighting on issues of criminal justice or voting rights or the economy, we are not talking about Black communities as the problem, but talking about us as the solution. When Black people are not only present, but powerful, history moves in the right direction, towards justice.